Well, today was a Senate hearing for Kash Patel, and I don't know how many of you actually saw it, but it was quite an interesting thing to see. Now, most of the senators, both um, Democrat and Republicans, questioned him, and many of them quite grilled him, and it was quite a good 4 hour hearing. And there were many debates. Cash went in on them, and it was a good back to forth where Cash would not let many of the senators get in their questions. And many of the questions were basic yes or no's. And during Senate hearings, um, you cannot plead the fifth. You cannot say, I'm not going to answer that question. I plead the fifth. So you basically have to answer the questions. And Mr. Patel just kind of became very defensive, evasive, and quite kind of danced around the questions. There were instances where he um, refused to answer the questions and became offensive, where they asked him a series of questions about his abilities to operate the FBI, asked him questions about the Charlie Kirk investigation, about the whole January 9th investigation, about the Mar-a-Lago investigation, and quite a bit about the Epstein files. And if you were watching it on YouTube, you saw in the comment sections a lot of people, quite a lot of people, are all asking comments about Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. Where are the Epstein files? They're all about the FBI and the Epstein files because the FBI has access to a lot of information about the Epstein files. And they want the FBI to release what they have in the Epstein files. And Patel, the director of the FBI, has not released anything. And also, the Senate also asked him about his grand jury testimony, which he actually originally said that he would provide them with, and yet he hasn't. And there were quite heated debates with Senator Booker, Senator Blumenthal, and expressly with Senator Schiff. And with Senator Booker, it became quite ugly with Booker and Schiff. And I was going to show you that. Take a look. First, I'm going to show you what happened with Booker. Have a look.
Our country weaker and less safe. I believe that we are more vulnerable to a major event, and I pray to God it doesn't happen. You've gutted the Bureau of Institutional Knowledge and Expertise. You fired or pushed out seasoned FBI officials, many with more than 20 years of experience, and were working on cases that were critical. You've been purging thousands of serious law enforcement officials who spent their careers keeping us safe, only to lower hiring standards in order to find anyone to replace them. And shockingly, you admitted in this hearing to Senator Coons that it would take 14 years to fill the vacancies at your agency. Many are the result of your purge. 20% of FBI agents are doing low-level immigration enforcement instead of their mission-critical work. You've disbanded entire task forces that stop election interference, foreign influence, public corruption. And who benefits from this? Well, corrupt people benefit from it. Criminals benefit from it. Vladimir Putin benefits from it. And it really makes me wonder who you're looking out for. It makes me think we can't trust you as a nation. You swear to release the Epstein files, but now you're withholding the Epstein files. You claim that you have a suspect in a serious assassination. Whoops, then you don't have a suspect. Undermine the agency's capacity. I believe you're failing as a leader, and that your failure does have serious implications for the safety and security of Americans and our families. We're more vulnerable to domestic and foreign attack because of your failures of leadership. I don't think you're fit to hand the Bureau. But here's the thing, Mr. Patel. I think you're not going to be around long. I think this might be your last oversight hearing. Because as much as you supplicate yourself to the will of Donald Trump and not the Constitution of the United States of America, Donald Trump has shown us in his first term and in this term, he is not loyal to people like you. He will cut you loose. This may be the last time I have a hearing with you because I don't think you're long for your job. But I'm going to tell you this. I pray for you. I pray for you that you can step up and defend your oath, defend the Constitution, and do a much better job of defending this country. Thank you.
And this is what happened with Senator Blumenthal.
And no one will be terminated for case assignments. You went on to tell me, quote, all FBI employees will be protected against political retribution. And you assured one of my colleagues that you would honor the internal review process of the FBI. I'm not going to mince words. You lied to us. In the short time that you've been FBI director, you've presided over a rash of retaliatory firings. 3 FBI agents have recently sued you. They are FBI agents with 60 years between them of distinguished service, rescuing hostages, saving kids from predators, dismantling drug cartels, and their allegations, their civil allegations, are a searing indictment of your tenure as FBI director. But it's not just those 3. The FBI Agents Association has said that your actions, quote, distract agents from their work, foster fear that their assignments could cost them their careers, either now or under the next administration, and increase the risk of criminal and national security threats by undermining unity and morale within the Bureau, end quote. This association, as you know, is voluntary. It represents 14,000 members, 90% of all the active agents. These are your employees saying that your performance has been unqualified and unfit. And there is mounting evidence that these retaliatory firings were the result of direction from the White House. There have been instances in the past history of the Bureau of the White House right now. I'm going to ask you, has anyone from the White House contacted you about personnel decisions?
I completely disagree with your entire premise that I have lied or am misleading the FBI. If I were, the results that I announced today by the men and women of the FBI and the historic records we are doing to keep this country safe would not be possible. The men and women of the FBI are responding to our leadership and this administration's priorities. The only way people get terminated at the FBI is if they fail to meet the muster of the job and their duties. And that is where I will leave it. And you accusing me of lying is something I don't take lightly, but I'm not going to get into a tit for tat with you.
Well,
That's quite interesting. he doesn't seem to want to answer too many questions. He's just going a back and forth, not quite answering any real questions because he doesn't want to seem to quite perjure himself. Is it perjury? Is it not perjury? Who's really to say? You can't quite say. Is he perjuring himself? Is he not perjuring himself? He doesn't want to say if he got rid of Driscoll, uh, who uh, who was to fire who? Was he allowed to get rid of the FBI agents? Did they get rid of them? And then when he got into the whole questioning with Adam Schiff, it got oh, it got ugly. It got quite ugly. Have a look.
Let me just ask you to answer my question. Has anyone from the White House contacted you about personnel decisions?
Generally speaking, we always discuss with the White House, OMB, during the budget process.
Mr. Patel, during your confirmation hearing, you made several important commitments. For instance, you told Senator Coons there will be no politicization at the FBI. There'll be no retributive actions taken by any FBI should I be confirmed as FBI director. So let me ask you very specifically, did you ever take any action to terminate or discipline an FBI agent or employee in whole or in part as retribution for being part of an investigation of Donald Trump or January 6th?
No.
You also committed, you assured Senator Blumenthal, all FBI employees will be protected against political retribution. So you're testifying today that you played no role in the firing of even a single FBI agent for political retribution.
None for political retribution.
And if any FBI agent said you did, they would be lying. Is that your testimony?
I'm only speaking to my actions. Everybody is allowed to make their allegations.
Oh, no, these are allegations against you.
And
so, Mr. Patel, if FBI, senior FBI agents or employees said that you were firing them for political retribution reasons because of the cases they were assigned, you're saying they would be lying. Is that
anyone that was terminated at the FBI was done so for failing to meet the standards, uphold their constitutional oath, and effectuate the mission.
Well, by meet the standards, are you talking about meet the standards of protecting the president under any circumstance?
No.
Did you terminate or participate in any discipline of any FBI employee in whole or in part because of their work on an investigation of Donald Trump or January 6th? Yes or no?
Any terminations at the FBI by employees.
No, I'm asking you a very specific question.
And I'm going to answer the question, but you don't like the answer because it's the truth and it guts
want
your
an answer to my
narrative.
question. I don't want an answer to someone else's question. So let me just be precise, and I ask for a yes or no answer. Did you ever terminate or discipline an FBI employee in whole or in part because they had been assigned or worked on an investigation of Donald Trump or January 6th?
FBI
yes or no?
employees are only terminated
Yes
if
or
they
no,
fail
Mr.
to
Patel?
uphold their oaths of
Yes or
office
no?
and duty.
You're not
at the
answering my
FBI
question.
I don't
not
have to
answering my
answer your question yes or no because you're setting up a trap so you can have a media
I'm not
narrative.
setting up a trap
and I'm not giving it to you.
Unless it's true that you fired people.
People
in
have
whole
been
or in part
terminated at
because
the
they-
FBI who fail to uphold
You're
the
assigned
standards
to.
that the FBI requires them to
Did
uphold.
you tell anyone at the FBI that all FBI employees who they identified who had worked on cases against President Trump would be removed from their jobs? Did you tell that to someone at the FBI?
Say that I would remove people for case assignments?
That people that were identified as having worked on cases against President Trump would be removed from their jobs. Did you tell that to someone at the FBI?
People are not removed
Just
for case
answer my
assignments.
question. Just answer my question. Did you tell that to
People
someone?
are not removed for case
No,
assignments.
you're not answering my question.
And I would
Mr.
never
Patel,
tell anyone.
Did you tell someone at the FBI
That is not a pretty sight to see because, well, that just shows that Kash Patel, who, in all honesty, has no real experience in law enforcement and any kind of enforcement in working in a legal capacity. Well, actually, as a lawyer, which we really can't define if he actually passed through law school, but he is said as a lawyer, but he has never worked in any law enforcement. He is a podcaster. So is Don Bongino. So they are two podcasters working for the top law enforcement agency in the United States of America. And they're supposed to be running the FBI. So that's it. And when they went to Utah, they just dropped the ball. And now they're being questioned and they don't know what to do. The Senate is asking them what's going on, and they're just throwing the ball back and forth, not answering any real questions. These are basic yes or no questions, and he is just trying not to say yes or no. Adam Schiff is saying, give me a yes or no. Booker saying, give me a yes or no. And he refuses to say yes or no. So what do you do? I will have more questions. I will have more videos about the whole Charlie Kirk situation, what's going on there. If you like my videos, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to SJ Laws and More. Please forward my videos, and I will see you in future videos. Thank you.